Warning: the following may contain Benedict Patrick. Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced. Previously on Crit-Faced, having descended to the basement of the house, the party has discovered a network of rooms and corridors, which they continue to explore.
All right, then we head south.
Okay. Again, we're going to have to go single file. Lord Talfrin, you are currently in the guise of the master of the house. Are you still taking point, Mr. Durst?
I am. Mr. Durst.
Fred Durst.
Durst Gently is my name.
Durst.
I head south.
Well done. Okay, the corridor turns, and you find yourselves walking up a small flight of stairs. You reach a fork in the road. There's a passageway here heading south, but your main corridor continues onwards down a flight of stairs, and then turns out of view. However, as you reach this point in the road, it is very clear to you that the eerie chanting that you can hear is coming to the south, down this passage that you're now standing in.
I think south. What do you guys think?
I
agree.
No good reason why not to do that.
Well, I think certainly we can send ahead of the household to see what's up in there, and if it's nasty, we can run away while he's in there.
Thank you for that vote of confidence.
Yeah, welcome. Sure. I'm up for running into the teeth of this monster. Let's just do it.
Yeah, let's see what they're droning on about. And also, to be honest, after seeing what they did to those children upstairs, I'm rather desiring some confrontation.
Okay.
So I march south.
You march south. Okay, so guys, we're marching south for about 10 feet before the floor gives way beneath you, Lord Talfrin, and you fall down a 10-foot pit. Well, in fact, will you take a dexterity check with disadvantage as the floor opens beneath your feet?
Just as I planned. A 3, I could get lower, and a 9.
Okay.
So I got a 4.
You smash your head off the floor at the bottom of this 10-foot drop, and you take three bludgeoning damage.
I let out a surprised yell. I think it's understandable. And then immediately leaped to my feet in a panic. Is anything down here? Snakes, spiders, scorpions?
No. There's you.
Is there any way up? Ladder?
We've got rope.
I think we'll be happy enough to just let you climb up a rope. If someone has it.
Then I'll be on the wrong side.
Yeah.
Okay. It's only it's only 5 foot long, the jump, so I think most of you are pretty confident of the idea of jumping this now that you know that it's there.
So we jump to the side and then help him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, that sounds admirable.
Okay. So there we go. We're back up. Face bruised.
I brush off my clothing with wounded dignity, and I glance at the others, daring for them to make any sort of snide comments, and I resume my march towards the chanting.
You dared me to make a snide comment, sir?
Exactly. I know you would never dare.
Never.
Okay. So, are we continuing south along the passage then?
Yes.
I'm a little bit more tentative, but I am striding south.
Okay. Striding south and towards the bottom here, you reach two flights of stairs.
Oh my goodness!
One heading south, one heading off to the east. Now, the eerie chanting that you can hear is very clearly coming from the southern stairway.
All right, I'm starting to feel very stubborn at this point, so I head south.
Okay.
Should we maybe just like
do a perception check?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can we sort of can we move ahead like a little bit and have a look what's further on? Because if it's like a massive, I don't know, cavern filled with like 1,000 people sacrificing to their bloodthirsty god, then maybe we don't want to go inside.
Who are obviously booby trapping their entrances, which is not a great sign. You know, that's.
How did they get over that?
Maybe we don't want to know.
I mean, it's got to be inconvenient to booby trap your own corridors like that.
Well, they just fill it with like the bodies of their victims, and they walk over, and you know, it's easy enough. I think though,
like a certain pattern that you have to walk over the cobblestones or something.
It could be.
Maybe. All right, how about we do a round of perception checks?
Okay,
Yeah.
Go for it, guys.
Ooh, 18 plus 2, 20.
Okay.
12.
What did everyone else get?
4.
Okay.
12.
I'm back. 7.
Okay. I mean, the chanting, obviously, it's definitely coming from the southern entrance. There's nothing discernible down any of these passages that you're particularly worried about. So they're just quite dark and a bit spooky.
Should we maybe like cover up our illuminating objects, perhaps, as we sneak forth, so we don't like pop out into a giant dark cavern, and the target is clearly me in the middle,
with your belt buckle.
That's what I'm trying to be discreet. Yes, I'm worried about that. I put my shirt over my belt buckle.
Okay. I mean, it's now pitch black without any of these light sources. I can't see anything.
I
let a little light peek through.
Yeah. I mean, you can certainly just unveil enough light just to get a dim glow, so you can see maybe 5 feet ahead of you, kind of thing. Do you guys just want to continue that way?
Yes, let's do that.
So the passageway that was heading south, it takes a U-turn round and continues to descend, and the voices get louder. You were heading south, and then you start heading west, and the passage turns again and continues to descend north. Finally, as we turn east, you can tell that the staircase is opening up into a much louder room. Now, the ghostly chant is much louder down here. You can finally start to make out some words. So there's about a dozen or so voices, and over you hear them chanting the same thing. He is the ancient. He is the land. He is the ancient. He is the land. He is the ancient. He is the land. Now, this is a very large room. This is the largest down here that you've encountered so far. It is filled with pillars holding up the roof here. It's tall enough that it needs extra structural support. So there's about half a dozen pillars close to the centre of the room, just helping hold it up. There are 2 passageways leading south out of this room, but there are a number of there are 13 different alcoves carved out of around the walls of this room, each of which seem to hold a number of different objects. You have to get closer to have a wee look.
No thanks. I think I've seen all I want to see. I think we got the gist of it here, that he is the ancient and he is the land.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what my father always said about ancients? It's never too soon to run away. We should just leave now. We should all, after me. You want to go forward? Okay, well, here we go. We're all going to die.
Okay, what's the plan?
Run away. I'm running away.
That was my plan. I heard nothing else to argue with it. I feel like we should go in and let the man in disguise lead, and see if he can't fool them into thinking we're somehow supposed to be here. We can perhaps pretend to be his prisoners or his cohorts. Maybe we are initiates into this weird sect. And then once we've lulled them into a false sense of security, it's thunder wave and fireball and bolt and bolt. What do you guys think of that?
What could go wrong?
He is the ancient. He is the land. He is the ancient. He is.
So
the land.
I'm sorry. Was there like a leader leading this chant?
There's no. You see nobody. This is an empty room except for the pillars and all these little alcoves, these little niches carved out of the walls, and the two passageways to the south.
Can we see anything in the alcoves?
Yeah, if you want to take a step closer. I can't remember, Lord Talfrin, do you have a source of light?
Nope. I've been using the ambient light from the belt buckle.
Sure.
And the axe.
So you step towards the closest alcove, and on this alcove you see a small mummified yellow hand. It's got pretty sharp claws, and it's got a loop of rope around the wrist, just where the sort of wrist ends.
That looks innocent enough. I mean, that's normal decor.
Does it sound like this chanting coming from that alcove?
No, it's coming from the south.
Oh, okay. Well, let's continue warily south.
Remember, everyone, like the words to the song. if it comes up, we have to pretend later we are the ancient. Or he is the. Okay, we'll learn the words as we go. Just follow
Think
him.
about it.
Yeah.
So we're not going to check the rest of the alcoves?
After what I saw, I'm not particularly eager to, but if you want to...
Just like have a look, maybe? Don't
Sure,
touch
go
anything.
for it.
Nobody touches it.
Mm-hmm. You want to have a look at another one?
Quick walk around.
Yeah. So, I mean, these are actually fascinating objects. Very unusual. Most of them, like the next one along, is a knife, quite ornate. But when you get a closer look, you realise it's carved from human bone.
Sing a trend.
Are you?
I'm not touching it.
No. Okay. Next one. It's a dagger, but there's a rat's skull set into the pommel of the dagger.
Fancy.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is a person tuxedo. It's just a tuxedo made out of people.
I have a matching pouch.
Mm-hmm.
No, the next one along is it's an orb. It's just a small orb, about 8 inches in diameter. You realise it's actually some kind of eyeball that seems to have been preserved in this way.
It's lovely.
Get a patch for that.
Still waiting for
Cover it up.
heart or something.
No. So the next one is it's an aspergillum. It's one of those devices that priests or holy men would use to sprinkle holy water with. This has been carved from bone, of course.
Arts.
It's almost passe at this point.
Okay. You want to keep going?
No.
Yeah.
Tell me it's not looking.
See all the bones.
I mean, you
Little
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah. I mean, the next one is a folded cloak.
Oh.
With
Made
bones.
out
Of
of?
human skin.
Well, actually, now that you mention it, when you look close to it, it does seem to be some kind of stitched together skin-like material. Yeah.
Skin-like.
Yeah. It's
Very
skin-
warm.
it's
Very,
skin.
very warm. Cozy.
Possibly not human, but definitely something
Skinish.
skin. Yes, skinish.
Definitely gross. All right.
Do not lick it.
We're not touching anything. We're just looking.
Yeah, don't. I tell Master Suna, do not lick it.
That was not my intent.
The next one, this one's a wee bit unusual. It takes you a while to figure out what you're looking at. It is basically a stick, but there's something tied to the stick with a rope sort of twirling around, and you realise what it is it's a frog that has been opened up and dissected and then dried, in that opened up sort of form.
These people have entirely too much time on their hands.
Yep.
The next one's just a bag. It's a wee bag sort of sitting there.
Okay.
There's obviously something in it.
No, just keep going.
You're running out of alcoves, actually. You've got a severed finger in the next one.
Okay.
Seems quite fresh.
Okay.
Lovely.
No.
I'll put it in my people bag.
No.
No, we're not touching anything.
Listen, as you make your way around, you'll be on the southern wall by now. As you're walking around, you realise you've got these two exits. The easternmost exit actually is a sloped floor. It descends down into a pool of water, and actually the exit to the room from this doorway is barred by a portcullis.
So this is obviously the most awful shop in the world. I don't want any of these things. I say we just go towards the water.
But that's where the
Fair enough.
the portcullis is.
I thought
One in the other.
Sorry.
Where's the gate?
So there's a slope that goes down at about a 20-degree angle, and it ends in the passageway is now in water, and the portcullis is there. It's to get through this passageway into the next room. The portcullis is barring the way.
Ah, okay.
It's very rusty, made of iron.
The other tunnel is where the chanting's coming from.
No, actually, the chanting seems to be coming from the room beyond the portcullis. From what you can tell, I mean, you're up at the top of the slope at the moment, but I mean, he is the ancient, he is the land. It's very clearly coming from.
Okay,
that
so
room.
we have the choice of like the portcullis room with he's the ancient, and then we have the water.
No, the water is the portcullis.
So what's the other one?
The other one just seems to be a corridor that heads south.
I like the other one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although we've come this far, and I think that it is time for McRag to rage and break open the portcullis. No, maybe not. Oh, what if we open the portcullis by using one of these totems? You know, like you pick up the finger, and the portcullis goes up, or you pick up the finger and everybody dies.
I think that's a great idea. I'm going to stand in the next room while you try each one.
Well, there's got to be some sort of sense to it. Like I feel like this house was filled with eyes. You know, there's so many eyes. Perhaps it's the eyeball we should pick up.
Lips.
I'm not picking up the eyeball with my lips, sir. Oh.
It's just as disgusting.
Well,
Maybe a little more disgusting, but
it's not just as disgusting to pick up an eyeball with your fingers as your lips. Oh,
this place is getting to us. Okay,
I'm trying to puzzle my way through.
So what do we do?
let's
let's
get out of here before we crack.
Disturb these people who think that he is the ancient.
We are going to be defeated by our own madness. Let's proceed south down the regular corridor. Do not pick up the eyeball with your lips. I don't care what your rationale is. Let's just go south and find what we may find.
All right.
Okay.
I know what I've invested.
All right.
Does anyone here have any stiff drinks?
No.
Any fortifying liquor that we could use to bolster our strength?
I thought when we were in the room that had the crossbows that there was a bunch of casks of stuff that didn't we take something?
I hope we did. Treasurer?
We did 3 casks of whiskey that were very aged and extremely valuable.
I think
suddenly not
we should
trusting
broach
any of
one
you.
of the casks. I think we should tap one and just do a little round just to get ourselves back on track. I feel like we're coming apart at the seams here.
Guys,
right.
If that's what it takes to get this adventure moving, you can have your imaginary whiskey.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Are there any convenient skull caps or anything lying around that we can use to drink out of? Because I don't have a cup on me.
I think we're just going to pass the flagon round, as they say.
The barrel.
Despite everything that's here, the closest thing that you've got that could hold any liquid would be holy the
aspergillium.
Yeah.
No.
Just wave it around our heads and
Yeah.
spray
Woo.
whiskey everywhere.
Oh, God. This has gone off the rails.
Everyone chasing me with their mouths open.
You know, when these zealots find us drunk in their hall and immediately kill us, we will deserve it. That's all I have to say.
Yes. Like, we had no heart, we had no foul intentions. We just came down here for a good time. It was a little bit more than we bargained for, and we'd like to go home now.
That's how I feel. Okay,
All right,
so,
a quick nip of whiskey. Anyone who's interested.
oh yeah,
And I hand the barrels back to whoever was carrying them. And
poor sucker.
poor sucker.
I
It's
see.
a little lighter now.
Uh-huh.
And we charge south.
Okay. You charge.
Charge.
The
Okay.
Yeah,
there's a couple
we're
of
fleeing our own self-destructive impulses.
okay.
Master Talfrin will charge.
So
Tally ho.
this a couple of turns in the corridor bring you to what is clearly some kind of prison. You come to a corridor that basically runs from, you're in the north of it. It ends in a wall to the south, but on either side there are a dozen cells. And there's nobody inside them. There are shackles hanging from the walls, a few skeletons, and that's it.
Are we still in the same house? Is this like the house still?
This is underneath the house.
This is the
This
basement.
this is the worst B&B ever. Okay, so do we want to search the cells for
No,
bones?
we can-
just
well,
go.
Talfred
know
is
what
charging
happens if we
south.
Okay.
The side, the wall, the corridor ends at the side.
Is
Oh,
it-
there's a wall. There's no more
No, that's it.
southerliness.
No, there's the prison cells, the dozen or so prison cells.
Lord Talfin really needs to run just smack into the wall at the other end of this hall. Just
Where he continues to claw at the mortar and brickwork,
let me out. Let me out.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
gnawing at his own arm. Okay, is there a convenient portcullis lever anywhere?
No.
Well, that's a good question.
Ah,
Rats. Okay, so is there a perception check worthwhile here? Is there like anything we're going to discover?
Are you wanting
We will
to
know
check?
when we do.
do it. Let's do it. 18.
Okay.
17.
Nice.
Embarrassing. That's why I got it. Embarrassing.
Master Sana, were you checking?
Yeah, I'll check.
What did you get?
19.
19. Okay. We'll say, Lord Talfrin, you come across one of the skeletons in a tattered black robe, is wearing a gold ring on one of its fingers. That would be
Sean, you'd be interested in this.
It would.
that's going to be worth about 25 gold pieces if you can ever cash it in.
Should we put on the black cloak?
What if you guys dress as my acolytes?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a little musty. It's not going to smell good.
You've got a black cloak already. If you recall, you were using it to cover. You got one already to cover the.
Nice.
This one is in pretty bad shape, but you certainly could have a go at.
Oboe acolytes.
I think we should all start putting on the black robes because when it comes time, we know the song. We want to have the right look.
And
Blend
the chanting is continuing the whole time. It's very, very clear now. He is the ancient. He is the land.
Right.
And
They're
by the
really
way,
making their point.
as the search, the Master Summer, you in the one of the eastern cells, you come across what is clearly a false wall.
Well done, Master Sana.
Okay.
I give her a really hearty clap on the back.
I stumbled to the side.
Okay. It opens up into
The abyss.
the abyss. Into a room that you thought would have been impossibly large to be down here. And as you peer into this 40-foot square room, the chanting stops.
Oh, Master Sana.
The smooth masonry walls in here, guys. You can tell the acoustics must be excellent. There are featureless stone pillars supporting the ceiling here. Now, on the very southern wall, the wall is broken, and you can just make out a dark cave. It seems to be heaped with refuge back there. Murky water covers most of the floor of this room. However, there are dry stone ledges all around the circumference of the room. So your your passageway opens up onto one of those dry stone ledges, and also in the middle, very center of the room, stairs rise from the water up to it's a stepped octagonal dais that rises from the water in the center. Rusty chains with shackles are dangling from the ceiling directly above the altar that's on top of the dais. And you can tell that the altar is carved in some way, but you'd have to get closer to have a better look at it.
So have we been noticed?
There's no one in there.
You can't see anyone in here.
So why did the chanting stop? This is a very strange house, if you haven't noticed by now.
Yes. The architect. Bizarre.
I say we just start doing a call and response and see if it takes on. You just hey, we are the ancient, and then see if
we are the land.
That's right. And if we hear that, we should run.
How deep is the water over the floor?
Are you going in to check?
Well, I mean, can I see the ground through the water, or is it just impenetrable, black mirror, dark?
So if you go a wee bit closer to the edge, you can see it. It's quite shallow, about 2 foot deep. You can see the floor through the water.
Yeah. What do you all think? I turn back to the group. Shall we
disturb the water?
Climb onto that altar and just be king of the castle?
Well, the point of your disguise, of course, is to see if it will deceive anyone. And so I think it makes perfect sense for you just to, maybe put the black robe on, just add a little flair to it, and just march out there and see who eats you.
Yeah. No.
Are these?
And you said there was a further cavern beyond the southern wall full of refugees?
Just the southern wall just is basically it seems to open up onto a cave that's just filled with refuge. Yeah.
It's garbage.
Just filth, yeah.
And there's stuff hanging from the ceilings?
There are rusty chains hanging from the shackles hanging directly above the altar in the center of the room.
And
there's no one here.
No.
Oh,
I shoot an exploratory firebolt across the room.
Yeah.
Right.
It impacts on the far wall, obviously scorching it, but nothing happens.
Into the cave full of refuse.
Okay. You fire your fireball into the refuge, and suddenly the room begins to shake. Chanting rises once more as all around the room 13 dark apparitions appear on the ledges. Appear sort of floating above the room. Each one is a black-robed figure holding a torch, but the torch's fire is black, and it seems to sort of draw light into it. Where you'd expect to see faces on these apparitions are voids, and they start to chant, and they begin to chant, "Lorgoth the Decayer, we awaken thee! Lorgoth the Decayer, we awaken thee!" And the massive mound that you have fired your firebolt into begins to move and rises up.
So we close the door.
We're going to end the session there.
Yeah. Oh no! We're all gonna die!
Crit-Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit-Faced fan group.